It is time to kick off this Lugano Plan B Forum. It is our pleasure to welcome to the stage our friend, independent journalist, Bitcoin content creator of viral memes, and fellow MC. He's also a Satoshi Nakamoto rock star. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Joe Nakamoto.
Woo! Good morning, good morning. Well done, thanks guys, thanks so much. Thank you so much, guys. Please give it up for Carla and Walker. What a tremendous introduction. Thank you so much, Carla and Walker. Grazie mille. Good morning, everyone. Can I get a buongiorno? Buongiorno? Fantastic. How's the energy in here? Should we make some noise? Yeah, wake up, everybody. This is not a central banking conference, okay? This is Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin. Welcome, bienvenuti, bienvenue, willkommen. I've definitely forgotten a Swiss language there. But my name is Joe Nakamoto. I'm going to be the moderator of the first panel this morning. You can see some lovely, handsome men behind me on the screen today. We're going to be talking all about Lugano, where the Lugano Plan B initiative is going, and where it's been, crucially. So please welcome me, or please help me, rather, in welcoming to the stage this morning. I'm going to just reduce his titles to like the first three because he's a CEO and CTO of so many companies. So please make a lot of noise for Paolo Ardoino, who is the CEO of Tether, the CTO of Bitfinex, and the king of memes. Please give it up for Paolo. More noise, more noise. Thank you, Paolo. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing? Please sit on the far left.
Thank you.
Next to Paolo, I'd love it if you keep up that energy. It is Pietro Poretti. My Italian is still needing a bit of work. He is the head of economic promotion for the city of Lugano. He's the guy who's behind the scenes getting everything done. So please give it up for Pietro. Welcome, Pietro. Good morning again. How are you? And I know that was a good amount of noise, but we need to make even more for the mayor, the guy that risked it all to follow these guys and jump into Bitcoin a few years ago. We're going to discuss this in our first question, actually. Please give it up for the mayor, Michele. Michele Foletti, welcome to the stage. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Thank you, thank you. This is a tremendous view. I was at one of the first Lugano Plan B conferences, and I remember the room was so much smaller. There were so many fewer people. And that's actually how I want to frame the context of the discussion this morning, because the first time we sat together, I think it was the exact same team, wasn't it, in October 2022? Yeah. The Bitcoin price was under $20,000, having crashed from highs of $70,000. We in this room, we were all collectively poor. And what's more, we were all wrong. We were the laughingstock of our friends, the family, and the BBC. And now that Bitcoin is over $100,000, and it will soon, I hope, be over 100,000 francs, I want us to take a moment, before we talk about the present and the future, to reflect on those earlier moments of Bitcoin in Lugano. And in particular, Mr. Mayor, your move to convert Lugano into a European Bitcoin hub during those turbulent times.
Ma quando ci siamo trovati qui nel marzo 2022 con Paolo a annunciare il Plan B, parlavamo di libertà finanziaria, di libertà di espressione, tanta gente ci ha presi un po' per matti e ci ha presi anche in giro, ma noi avevamo fiducia tra di noi, avevamo fiducia nel progetto e questo ci ha portati ad andare avanti con entusiasmo.
Very good, very good. For those in the audience that don't necessarily speak Italian yet, firstly, shame on you. This is Lugano, this is the future of Bitcoin in Europe. But Pietro is very kindly going to help us out in summarizing what the mayor has just said. So Pietro, over to you.
Yes, and good morning, everybody. The Plan B Forum offers translation from English to Italian, of course, but up until now, not the contrary. So I will help out those who, as Joe was saying, don't speak Italian yet. And the mayor was saying that indeed, when we first gathered in February 2022, in March 2022, to unveil the Plan B Forum, this partnership between the city of Lugano, the municipality, and Tether, we talked about Bitcoin, of course. We spoke about freedom. We spoke about technology. People saw us as a meme. No? At a certain point, used the word laughingstock, and they mocked us a little bit, probably, at least at the beginning. But we had faith. We had faith in our project, in our vision. We continued our path with a lot of conviction.
Very good, very good. You mentioned the word meme there, or meme in English. Is there a meme you wanted to show us this morning?
I don't think we were able, for technical reasons, to show the meme again, but next time.
We'll get it tweeted out probably from Paolo's account, no?
Yeah, it's the one with the mayor and the cat, drumming on the...
Playing the drums.
Exactly.
Yeah, you need to check it out.
Was the first one? Was the first one? Yes, I see.
The first time we did this, you weren't speaking English. Now you speak English as well.
My English, I
yes, round of applause for the mayor. Fantastic.
You know, with Plan B, I improved my know about Bitcoin and blockchain, but not my English.
But not what, sorry?
But not my English.
All right, there's an ARI there and me asking you to repeat it. Okay, so let's move on from the atmosphere back then. Now, we're in the present, it's 2025. Bitcoin is doing a lot better in terms of, price. The network is stronger. Of course, this room is much bigger. As I understand it, you sold, is it around 4,000 tickets for the Plan conference this year?
4,000.
More than 4,000?
The first year was 1.7 thousand people, now 4,000 tickets. We need to build more hotels because we don't know where to put the people in Lugano anymore.
I'm sure that's not a problem, though. Okay, but I mean, how do you manage to track some of these milestones and some of these statistics? I know that Carla and Walker in the introduction mentioned that privacy is a key tenet of the Bitcoin movement. So, presumably you're looking at Lugano and how the city is changing, but how are you actively able to sort of look at these milestones, these achievements, that kind of thing?
Noi abbiamo cercato di fare di Lugano un laboratorio per provare a utilizzare nella vita reale Bitcoin, e oggi non è più un laboratorio, oggi è un'esperienza di tutti i giorni. Abbiamo dimostrato che si può vivere a Lugano, in una città, utilizzando Bitcoin. Oggi abbiamo 400 punti che accettano Bitcoin, Tether e Luga, e abbiamo sviluppato tutta una serie di tecnologie per rendere questa esperienza, grazie a Tether, più facile, più anche emotivamente interessante per chi possiede Bitcoin. Quindi oggi non è più un esperimento, oggi è una realtà, e credo che abbiamo dimostrato anche che la tecnologia, se è supportata da valori e da una filosofia di libertà, può portare un benessere a tutti i cittadini.
Very good, very good. I picked up a few words in there, but Pietro, over to you.
Yes. In these 3 years, 3.5 years at this point, Lugano has gone from being a small digital experimentation laboratory to, we can say, a leading hub in distributed ledger technology, Bitcoin, and in general, new technologies. We have transformed a pioneering vision that we had back then, together with Tether, into a concrete model for urban innovation. We're not just a user of a technology, but we believe a central player in a new model of distributed governance. The mayor also referred to the quite widespread adoption of crypto payments throughout the city. We have over 400 at this point, point of sale distributed to restaurants, shops, various service providers throughout the city that accept payments in Bitcoin on Lightning Network, USDT, and also our city payment token, Luga. I think later we can also maybe tell a little bit more about the various milestones that we have achieved.
Very good, very good. Just can I get a show of hands here? Who in the room has spent Bitcoin in Lugano over the past few days? Nice, nice. I'm going to ask you the same question at the end of the conference, and I expect everybody's hand to be raised, okay? I know that Paolo is certainly an advocate for spending Bitcoin in Lugano. Do you still have your favorite hairdresser? Are you still paying him in Bitcoin here in Lugano?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I do.
No further questions.
I don't like to sell my Bitcoin, but still, sometimes it's nice to see if the infrastructure keeps working properly.
It is painful, isn't it? Paying, knowing that.
Yeah. I cry every time I do it.
Really? Very good. Okay, and for those that have traveled from around the world, Switzerland has 26 cantons, and there are lots of sort of canton representatives here in the room today, whether it's Lausanne or Zug or other cantons across Switzerland. So welcome or bienvenue or willkommen to these people. But Switzerland as a nation, the canton model is a really effective, at least from my perspective, from a failing nation, the United Kingdom. It's a very effective way of running a nation, as it inspires collaboration, but also it creates this arena of competition too, which is important for economic development. So I want to ask you first, Pietro, how does Lugano position itself within Switzerland and Europe's sort of Bitcoin ecosystem?
Yes. Well, there are, of course, other cities that have positioned themselves very well. If we think about Switzerland, we have to mention the Crypto Valley, where it started in Zug. I think there are two things that sets us apart a little bit. First, the fact that in the Lugano experiment, let's say, the municipality itself is involved. It's directly involved. We have mentioned the distribution of points of sale throughout the city to encourage experimenting crypto payments, but more broadly speaking, of course, a project like Plan B, which I believe remains unique worldwide. The city blockchain infrastructure, the payment token, the city was the first municipality, I believe, worldwide to issue digital bonds on a regulated exchange. That was also a first. So I think we have a number of things to show, and that makes us quite unique. At the same time, of course, we are part of Switzerland. It's important that the framework, the regulatory framework, remains competitive. And I think in this respect, there is something important coming up, which is the consultation started by the Federal Council Wednesday, so 2 days ago, on amendments to a very important piece of legislation that has to do with digital assets.
Interesting, interesting. Okay. Maya, is there anything that you'd like to add to Pietro's thorough answer?
Su come ci posizioniamo e quali sono un po' i nostri punti di forza come Lugano nel contesto svizzero.
Sentite che il mio inglese non è così fluente, ma i punti di forza di Lugano sono sicuramente nell'ambito delle tecnologie il fatto che grazie anche alla collaborazione di Tether siamo riusciti a creare veramente una comunità di ragazzi che lavorano assieme. Io credo che Satoshi Spritz di ieri sera, non so quanti ragazzi c'erano, ma era veramente pieno, e questa è la dimostrazione che abbiamo creato una comunità. Hanno creato un hub sempre molto vivace dove si fanno tante cose. E quindi questo per chi vuole sviluppare è estremamente importante. Poi c'è tutto il lavoro che ha fatto Tether con Fulgur, che ringrazio, per aiutare le start-up che stanno nascendo sul territorio. E questo è estremamente importante. E poi, come dico sempre, provate a vivere a Zugo per 6 mesi e poi tornerete a Lugano volentieri. Abbiamo una qualità di vita eccezionale, Paolo lo ripete sempre, no? Abbiamo una qualità di vita eccezionale, abbiamo sicurezza, abbiamo una cucina mediterranea e non mangiamo solo patate bollite e quindi credo che ci sono tutte le premesse per venire a Lugano. Dobbiamo ammetterlo, a Zugo si pagano un po' meno di tasse, ma i soldi non sono tutto nella vita.
Very good. There was a lot more passion coming out there, and I realized it was because you were speaking about food. Am I right?
Right. Food and taxes.
Food and taxes.
But it's better food or it's better taxes? Low taxes or good food?
That's a brilliant question. That's an ultimate dilemma, isn't it? I think there are a lot of Bitcoiners, after Bitcoin's gone to 100K, who are asking that exact same question. Do I choose the food or the taxes? Okay. As someone who chose taxes over food, Paolo, what do you make of the situation now in Lugano, particularly I take a lot of planes, I travel a lot. I think that you travel even more than I do. You have a very global perspective of the world. You did move originally to Lugano. I think it's now El Salvador. Is that correct? And so, what do you make of the situation now in Lugano?
Well, when we started, I think even like for Bitcoin, we always talk about the different stages of acceptance, right? First, they don't care about you, then they mock you, then they attack you, and then they accept you. And a certain way happened also in Lugano. So first, like when we started in 2022, was what we wanted to do was deemed impossible. It's everything was turning into a political issue.
Right.
And then after 3 years, we are seeing how this Plan B framework that we created, that is not just about this event or the hub, is a comprehensive framework that includes the universities, includes the shops, as the mayor said, in Lugano, includes small, middle-sized businesses, and also we are talking about with also the big corporations here that are interested to participate, to learn about blockchain technology. And so the success of this approach has been becoming more and more evident. In the end, the thing I like the most about Lugano is the fact that it's a city that has 70,000 inhabitants, so it's not that small, but it's not that big. So you can have a quantitative approach and evaluation on the results of the actions that you put on the territory, so you understand that whatever you do in the city, you can measure the success, or you understand if you need to change direction and improve certain things. So that is what happened. What we did it in a very scientific way for the last 3 years, and I think we saw many people coming, for example, from the United Kingdom. They, now that they're talking about taxis, Res Don Dom has been removed, and we see a lot of influx of people from the United Kingdom here. There are a lot of startups that are born here, or they are relocating here from other parts of Switzerland, but also other parts of Europe. And so I think speaks to the success of our approach that has been very humble, very much in touch with the territory, not presumptuous. I think in next years we are talking about the renewal of the letter of intent and the memorandum of understanding that we signed 3 years ago. And we are going to expand this now that we have seen how successful this could be within the ecosystem of Lugano. We are expanding our set of interest to artificial intelligence. Lugano has been one of the pioneers in artificial intelligence since 1970. We are expanding to telecommunications and other areas of exploration.
Interesting. Just on that point, Lugano's being a pioneer in artificial intelligence since 1970. Could you just expand a bit more on that?
Yeah, there is an institute called Istituto Dalle Molle that has been pioneering the research on artificial intelligence, and that then transformed into one of the different universities of now that are in Lugano. There are 3 universities in Lugano. That also speaks to the importance of education and also research in this area. Lugano has an amazing group of researchers, has an amazing approach also to healthcare and research on healthcare. So all is part of the ecosystem, and so basically when it speaks to the story of the city when it comes to innovation on AI, innovation on healthcare, innovation now on blockchain technology. Of course, is a big financial hub, so has all the ingredients to be one of the to really be the hub of Europe when it comes to innovation.
Wow, and like Michele said earlier, it has the best food as well. So it has the the perfect marriage of all these interests. But I want to push back on a particular point, which is regarding spending Bitcoin, using Bitcoin every day. Paolo and I joked that it's painful to spend Bitcoin, yet we still do it. I mean, how much can you speak to the genuine day-to-day adoption in Lugano? Is this mainly a symbolic act of, plant a Bitcoin flag in Europe, say, yes, you can spend Bitcoin, but people aren't really doing it? Or are you genuinely, like the viral video of you last year where you were at the hairdresser, you forgot your wallet, but it was okay because you had your Bitcoin on your phone, so you spent it instead? How serious is this Bitcoin payments adoption initiative?
Dobbiamo essere sinceri. Probabilmente nel 2022 venivano usati un po' di più i Bitcoin, anche perché era una novità. Poi immagino che col valore del Bitcoin che è aumentato, sempre meno gente vuole spenderli, ma vuole tenerli Bitcoin. Però vediamo, ad esempio, quando c'è il forum, un picco di spese in Bitcoin, anche perché Lugano è una delle poche città dove si possono realmente spendere Bitcoin. Quindi probabilmente una volta all'anno chi possiede Bitcoin vuol venire a provare questa esperienza a Lugano. È usato molto di più Tether nei nostri commerci, anche perché spesso quando gli stranieri e i turisti vengono hanno un wallet con Tether e spendono Tether. E chiaramente le maggiori transazioni che notiamo sono con la stablecoin, il token di pagamento Luga, anche perché dà un cashback ed è molto locale. Però credo che è importante non tanto raggiungere dei numeri di utilizzo di Bitcoin, ma dimostrare che è possibile utilizzare Bitcoin nella vita reale di tutti i giorni.
Okay. I understood probably 2/3 of that. I'm getting better and better as we go on. Pietro?
If I can say, I think if you think about it, it's the right approach, right? So you want to use Bitcoin as your savings account.
Yep.
Because in the end, you want to be long Bitcoin and short dollars. So you want to spend dollars and you want to keep your Bitcoin.
Yeah, very good. I mean, that ties on to the idea of why there's been perhaps more spending of Tether and stablecoins here than Bitcoin. Is that right, Pietro?
Yes, and that's what the mayor was saying. Of course, Switzerland is a very mature payment system. Cash, of course, credit cards, twinned. It's really about choice, right? And offering the choice to our citizens. If they wish, they can, right? Increasingly spend or purchase using cryptocurrencies throughout the city. So ultimately it's about that. The city payment token is also doing quite well, and again it's about testing the technology. We have over 400 affiliated or partner merchants, and the technology is resilient. It has really proven to be working without major hiccups now for, knock on wood, of course, but for a couple of years. So it's tested, it works. So it is a real alternative for those who want. Maybe I can add that what is really comforting also looking back now, that this particularly the last year or so, is the number of requests that we receive from other municipalities in Switzerland, but worldwide, I would say, who want to get in touch with us and discuss our experience, exchange views, learn a little bit why we have launched this initiative, how we are implementing it, and some of them, as you mentioned, are in the room today. I would like to acknowledge representatives of the city of Lausanne, but also from far away. We have representatives from a city in Vietnam called Da Nang. We have representatives of the capital of Kazakhstan, Astana, and I believe we also have a representative or a delegate from Santa Monica in California. So first of all, thank you for traveling and joining us for this important event. And of course, we will really do our best to interact with everybody and exchange with all of you.
Wow, and I can't see a trend between those three places. You know, what brings together Vietnam, Kazakhstan, and California?
Amazing.
You know, very different spread, and yet, you know, they can all use Bitcoin. They can all benefit. Their cities, their territories can all benefit from the experiment that 5 years ago was mocked. Now it's being, to some extent, celebrated around the world. And I think that's the key point here, is that, you know, you took a risk a few years ago when you adopted Bitcoin and put the Plan B logo next to Lugano, and now you're here to reap the benefits and also share those learnings with the rest of the world. Okay, I wanted to speak very briefly about relocation and becoming a resident here, as I'm sure that there are some people in the audience today who are sitting there thinking, I don't really like the direction of the United Kingdom government right now, and Lugano, yeah, it's very pretty, and I can also, you know, live on Bitcoin, pay my taxes in, you know, Tether or Bitcoin, whatever it may be, benefit from the lovely food, maybe support the somewhat struggling local football team. I won't say any more about that, sorry.
Come on.
So, yeah, sorry. I promised I wouldn't bring it up, I just slipped out. So when it comes to relocation and new residents, how is that process, and what sort of support or incentives exist for entrepreneurs or business owners looking to relocate not just themselves, but their capital and their businesses to Lugano?
Pietro, maybe.
I'll take this one. Well, this is what we do, of course. This is also what our office does. And I would like to start by saying that I believe that all of you, really all of you, including you, Joe, I know that you are ambassadors of Lugano, globally, global ambassadors for Lugano. So this is already a really big thank you to all of you. We've seen an increasing amount of requests of manifestation of interest, people reaching out to us, asking questions. Sometimes we organize video calls, of course, to explain the technicalities or the very practical steps that one has to undertake to move as an individual, to move the company to Switzerland and specifically to Lugano. Sometimes people also do travel, and what we have really seen is that Lugano is increasingly considered as a legitimate, as a solid alternative, or as a solid option for those wishing to relocate, let's say, to this part of the world. Now, what we do concretely, we offer a sort of, we can call it red carpet services to individuals, to their families, to companies. We guide them through the process. We help them also accessing our network, various service providers that individuals need. We accompany them through the processes that they have to complete at different levels. You know, Switzerland works at 3 levels. Here we are at municipal level, then there is a cantonal level, which is very important, for taxation questions, as well as permit, for instance. So we really accompany them. We do as much as we can to make sure that the process is as smooth as possible. For those who are interested, this afternoon at 2 in the Alfinley room, we will have a panel where you can also hear from people who have gone through this process. We have 2 or 3 experiences to share in a panel called Tech Business in Lugano, an entrepreneur's perspective. So if you're interested, you're invited, and we are of course available now or later to discuss with you.
Very good, very good. And I know that the mayor was mentioning the word tether quite a few times in his Italian discussions. Paolo, I know your ears must be burning. How is Tether and how are Tether's initiatives sort of overlapping with that of the city of Lugano? I know that you have, for example, various grants. Of course, the Plan B hub is now attracting more and more businesses. They are actively soliciting people. I know this because I've been actively solicited. They are very good at what they do. Could you speak to sort of Tether's overlap with the city of Lugano and incentives?
I think the only way to be successful is to create a comprehensive approach to creating a community, a local community, right? So you want to involve everyone. You shouldn't have anyone feeling left out from the initiative. We have been very welcoming from the beginning. We have been very careful in also selecting the right partners. As you might understand, once you announce that you're doing something that is blockchain related or Bitcoin related, then you have very good actors and also certain leeches sometimes. And so it's very important to be careful, be inviting, but at the same time be very strong in protecting the ecosystem, because if you don't protect it and you don't allow it to grow it in the right way, then it will unfold and will fail, because maybe people will be sold tokens that have insane volatility and will go to zero and so on, right? So we have been very mathematical in this approach, and so the hub is a great example. It invites people to come present their ideas. There is a workspace. There are offices, but there is the Plan B network with Giacomo is leading that. That is very, very active. Is offering mentorship, is offering to startups, is offering education. The connection with universities, as I said before, is just incredible. We have a huge support from the research group, from like all the professors, very open to contribute and be part of the think tank. We have food is very important. So in the Plan B hub there is a proof of stake, and well, the hub is called proof of work.
Should I ask what the proof of stake serves? What's on the menu at the proof of stake, Paolo?
Well, as Bitcoiners are carnivores, so there is no other way. And of course, it will be the best meat restaurant in Lugano.
Very good, very good.
And also has a amazing wine cellar. Let's see, that also is part of the experience, is part of the culture, right? So again, everything has been designed from the get-go to be a set of actionable items that we could put in place. And it took time, right? People sometimes newspapers were always asking and criticizing us, oh, when you are going to do that, when you're going to do that. But every single year we are showing an advancement of our approach, right? We have been keeping our head down for now 30 years, and I think in the next, it will continue this thing for the next 4, 5, 10 years. Mm-hmm. We don't have an expiration date, because we are proving, I think with Lugano Plan B, we are proving that we can bring a city that is a beautiful city, is a city that is very inviting, but we can reshape its ecosystem, its approach to labor, its approach to education, its approach to also its projection on finance and wealth, and in over like a span of 3, 4, 5 years. And I think will become a template for many other cities in Switzerland, but also in Europe, right? If it will be studied as a case, because I really believe that thanks to the local administration, they did a fantastic job. I mean, I've seen how much heat they got from the opposition, for example.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And that has been very unfair because it's easy to be at the opposition and attacking someone that tries to do something. It's never easy to do something, right? It's, being proactive and trying to change things is very, very hard. It's proof of work. And so the consistency of the local administration approach has been unprecedented, I think, in such a short amount of time. So I think that they deserve all the credit for the success here.
And perhaps a round of applause right now. So yes, everyone, please. Let's show our respect for that. Has the opposition changed its tune? Has the opposition now said, actually, yeah, fair enough, the Bitcoin thing was a good idea?
Sì, ma non solo le opposizioni. Piano B è nato come un piano alternativo a un sistema, soprattutto finanziario, che era lento, che era macchinoso, che non era dinamico, e loro l'hanno capito subito. Quindi noi siamo stati attaccati immediatamente da tutto il sistema bancario ticinese e svizzero. Ci hanno accusato di voler distruggere la piazza finanziaria luganese. E io ho sempre detto no, il nostro vuole essere la costruzione di un ponte tra la vecchia finanza e la nuova finanza. Io credo che oggi il piano B è diventato un piano A. Il ponte l'abbiamo costruito, sono arrivate a Lugano nuove banche con nuove idee, Signum Bank è agli uffici nell'hub, è arrivata un'altra banca molto focalizzata sulle cripto. Venendo qui questa mattina vedevo un manifesto di una banca cantonale svizzera che promuoveva Bitcoin. Io credo che siamo riusciti non solo a dimostrare che si può vivere usando Bitcoin, ma siamo riusciti a dimostrare che si può fare finanza in un modo più moderno, più dinamico e con altri strumenti. E questo credo che è anche un successo che ci ha permesso di ottenere la caparbietà con cui Tether, noi abbiamo proseguito questo. Quindi, come dicevo all'inizio, oggi il piano B è il piano A della città di Lugano, ma non solo della città di Lugano, anche di un mondo economico che ha capito che le nuove tecnologie sono futuro.
Very good, Pietro.
Yes, it's not only about the pushback, the skepticism, or worse, by let's say the opposition, politically speaking, but also by the banking sector or the financial industry in general. A lot of skepticism, at least at the beginning. This idea, this project was seen as almost as a threat, right, to the integrity of that system. Now, things have changed over time, as we were saying, right, in a relatively short amount of time, in a relatively short period of time. And to a point where, looking back now, we can say that the bridges that Plan B also wanted to build have been built to a large extent. Of course, we will continue. And we see what started as Plan B, let's say, slowly becoming the Plan A of the city of Lugano. This, of course, is thanks to the strong partnership with Tether, what we have achieved, and what we will continue building together.
As long as the Plan A is still Plan A for Bitcoin and not Plan A for altcoins or Ethereum or something, I don't know. That's great though. So the Plan B has now become the Plan A. That's fascinating. It's yeah, that's really interesting. So I wanted to ask this as a closing question, but I'm going to ask it now instead because it's in the context of what we're discussing. I suppose it's why now? Like, why should anyone bother to move their family, move their ideas, move their time to Lugano now when they know that they're right about Bitcoin? I think most people in this room are pretty confident that Bitcoin is winning, as the meme says, and we know that more and more adoption is going to spread. So why should they bother to do that now? Why should they take interest in Lugano now? And why not wait another 5 years? Why not wait another 10 years? Particularly, as you mentioned, Paolo, Lugano will be a successful city in 20 or 40 years' time, and the streets might be adorned with gold in 40 years if Bitcoin is 10 million a coin. I don't know. What do you think there, Paolo? Why now?
Well, I think that now I'm sorry to say that, but the world is going towards darkness, and I think that Lugano, as a few other examples, like I'm a big fan of El Salvador as well, are offering an opportunity, an optionality when it comes to safety, when it comes to stability. It's the thing that I like about Lugano and Switzerland in general is that it's sitting inside Europe, but it's not part of the European Union. I'm surprised that you are not in jail yet, because coming from the United Kingdom, whatever you say on Twitter could be very problematic for you. So yeah, so these type of things are, I think, although we live in a digital world where Bitcoin is our currency, I think that sometimes you still need to. You also live in a physical world, and that's why Lugano is a good choice.
So here you can tweet and it's all fine.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I'm the testimony of that.
Okay, Pietro, did you have anything to add about the why now?
It's the right moment. It's the right moment for all the reasons that Paolo mentioned. I think it makes sense. It makes sense. If you look at Europe, if you look at where Switzerland is geographically, the system. Let me also add and think that what we are doing is a good example of that as well. By the way, the autonomy of a municipality in this case, we conceptualized Plan B jointly with a private company. We were able to go quite far also in really innovating. Think about payment system. Think about many other initiatives, and I think this distributed approach almost that is the Swiss system is another argument in favor of choosing this place.
Okay, very good. And as we look to the next 12 months, to hopefully Lugano Plan B 2026, what do you see as the next milestones, the key things that you want to reach as we prepare for what I hope will be a Lugano Plan B 2026? Michele.
Come diceva Paolo, ci siamo già seduti a discutere un po'. C'è soddisfazione da parte della città, c'è soddisfazione da parte di Tether. Credo che dovremo lavorare per venire qui in questa sala il prossimo 3 marzo a presentare quello che è il futuro di questo progetto che, lo continuo a dire, è stato un progetto di successo. Abbiamo preso dei rischi iniziali, abbiamo presi Tether che ci conosceva poco, abbiamo presi noi che conoscevamo poco Tether, ma ci siamo fidati l'uno dell'altro, e questa è la cosa più importante. Io credo che in qualsiasi altra parte del mondo per portare avanti un progetto come il Plan B avremmo dovuto riempire un contratto di 250 pagine. Con Paolo e Giancarlo ci siamo stretti la mano e siamo partiti. E quindi credo che è importante questa fiducia, e credo che è quella che ci permetterà anche di continuare nel prossimo periodo, nei prossimi 4 anni, con un progetto sempre basato su Bitcoin, sempre basato su questa tecnologia, ma che aprirà visioni ad altre tecnologie, ad altre esperienze, ad altre collaborazioni, e che permetterà sia a Tether come gruppo, non più soltanto come stablecoin, e alla città di Lugano di crescere e creare soprattutto quello che è importante, opportunità per i nostri giovani, perché in fin dei conti il primo punto della lettera di intenti con Tether è l'educazione, la formazione, ed è questo credo che sia importante per tutti.
I think, yes. I think myself and some of the audience members might need a little bit of a hand with that one. That was a bit more complicated. I couldn't pick that one up.
Yes. The municipality is satisfied with what Plan B has achieved so far, very satisfied.
Yep.
Discussions on how to continue this joint initiative, this partnership, are already ongoing. The idea is to continue with what we have done, but also expand on new things, into new areas. Also leveraging, I believe, what the territory can offer, the different excellencies that are present in the region. Education is a big part of that, of course. But it's also important to, for those who did not understand, the mayor to underscore why I repeated the word trust several times. And I think if you look at the memorandum of understanding between Tether and the municipality, which is publicly available, it's available on the Plan B website, and you look at the length of the document, the number of words, the mayor said that for an endeavor like this one, for a partnership like this one, elsewhere you probably would have needed a couple of 100 pages and footnotes and lawyers reviewing, etc., etc. Here, this was done literally with a handshake between the representative of Tether, Paolo here, and Giancarlo, and the municipality and the mayor. So trust is really ultimately what drives this project, and what will continue driving this project going forward.
So it's an old school way of doing business, It's a handshake, a very small signature, and away you go. And it's worked, 4 years later it's worked. That's amazing, yeah, okay. Paolo, do you have anything to add, or shall I move us on?
The interesting fact is that the first Plan B forum happened 8 days before FTX blowing up. So, and then, in 2022, I think, 2022 was a very entertaining year for Tether, right? So we were very much discussed in the public forum. And so when you think about that handshake, the municipality of Lugano took a leap of faith in our correctness as a company, in our interest, or true interest, to create something meaningful. And so that is the thing that I appreciate the most, right? It's so easy to jump on a bandwagon when things are perfect and beautiful.
Yeah.
But in a very dire situation, when the entire digital assets world is under huge pressure, the darling of the industry was very, very much under pressure, FTX, and the Tether was so much discussed. Then it all happened that year. So it proves that things, there are things and bonds that are meant to be sealed through fire and chaos, but then if they resist that moment, then they will be stronger forever.
Right. And that's Bitcoin and Tether, I suppose, in that same breath. Okay. So what can we expect in the next sort of 12 months, if and when, what can we expect when Bitcoin is $2 million per coin, or 2 million francs per coin? What is Lugano going to look like? What's it going to, are we all going to be driving around in Lambos around the lake?
Well, I think again, we are discussing the continuation of the MOU, because what we demonstrated with Bitcoin and blockchain technology is about financial freedom, right? It's the concept of having an option where you can be self-sovereign, independent, and able to control yourself and not depend from anyone else. Now, that same concept can be applied to other technologies, like freedom of speech is becoming more and more important. Like, again, Europe, the European Union tried to had a huge attack in the last few weeks and months towards freedom of speech and chat control and all that, right? So there is so much to do in similar areas. So Bitcoin is great, but alone is not enough to provide full freedom to an individual. So you want to create a comprehensive group of technologies that will support freedom of financial freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of intelligence, right? So private intelligence is very important. Like, as we say, for Bitcoin, not your keys, not your coins. I would say not your AI, not your intelligence, in a sense that you need to own your own artificial intelligence. Otherwise, you're just becoming dumber rather than more intelligent, because the guys that will become more intelligent are the big tech companies. So this is something that can be developed here. There are a lot of researchers, as I said before, is a huge there is a huge effort here independently from Plan B, but can be paired now with Plan B on artificial intelligence. So all this, we need to expand the exploration to other areas, because freedom will not be built in a day.
Okay, very good notes finished. Yeah.
Thank you.
There are some great one-liners in there. Yeah, it did start as a leap of faith here. Bitcoin alone is not enough, and yes, freedom will not be built in a day. Okay, Mea, over to you for your closing comments. We're coming around to the last minute of the panel this morning. What would you like to say?
Mi riallaccio al discorso di Paolo. In fin dei conti, Lugano storicamente è sempre stata una città di libertà. A Lugano ha trovato rifugio chi nel proprio paese combatteva per la democrazia e la libertà di parola. La villa Ciani, dove c'è l'esposizione, è stata realizzata da due signori che sono scappati da Milano durante l'occupazione austriaca, e da qui hanno guidato il risorgimento italiano. Abbiamo dei casi di lituani, di altri paesi che sono rifugiati a Lugano per poter parlare liberamente e cercare di aiutare il proprio paese. Quindi io credo che oggi la libertà è diventata, la si cerca nella tecnologia, perché è la tecnologia che ci sta togliendo sempre più libertà. E quindi l'idea, come diceva Paolo, Bitcoin è libertà, ma dobbiamo portare questa libertà anche nell'intelligenza artificiale e anche nel modo di poter comunicare tra di noi. Quindi sono tutti progetti che Tether sta portando avanti, il peer-to-peer, l'intelligenza artificiale autonoma, eccetera. E quindi credo che si sposano estremamente bene con la filosofia di questa città. Io credo che sarà ancora una volta, sarà difficile, sarà sfidante, ma penso che ci sono tutte le premesse perché il prossimo possa essere un piano 2, ma di successo.
Pietro.
A few words. Important, a few words, but very important one, the closing remark by the mayor, the word freedom, of course, there is a history in Lugano, also to giving refuge to people who were going through difficult, challenging times because of their actions in pursuit of freedom. The adjacent building here, the Villa Ciani, was built indeed by people who had to flee northern Italy, let's say, because of, at that moment, Austrian occupation, and would then led also to the Risorgimento movement in Italy. So there is a tradition of freedom in Lugano, and the paradox is that technology today can also take away a lot of our freedom. Yeah. In many different respects. So if we look at Plan B, how it started with Bitcoin as let's say, a tool for financial freedom, well, the same principle can be applied to many other areas as well, to increase the freedom of each and every individual. And we were probably look into that for the continuation of Plan B.
Fantastic, fantastic. All that's left to say, everyone, is thank you so much for attending this morning. Give yourselves a round of applause. I hope we've somewhat convinced you that these gentlemen here took a real risk when they made Lugano's Plan B back in 2022, but now they're reaping those rewards and other cities are now learning from this. So please give it up for Paolo, for Pietro and for Michele. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of your day. Up to you, up to you.
Thank you, Luke.